Welcome to the Protein Bros podcast. On today's podcast, we have a very special guest. Her name is Savana Sharp, and she is the director of athletes for Angel Competition Bikinis. On this podcast, we talked about what goes into being a competitor, what goes into fitting a suit to a competitor. We talk about her personal competition. She is a WBFF pro, and we talk about her getting her pro card. We hit a lot of different topics. If you are interested in getting into the fitness industry, getting into competing, this is a great podcast for you. And at the end, we talk all things Fat Kid because she has her own podcast that is called Cupcakes and Protein Shakes. So, as always, if you guys would please like, subscribe, do anything you can to support the podcast, and let's get you to it. So is this your first WFBB?
WBFF.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
It's a good, it's a hard tongue twister,
but
it is my third, so it's my second pro show.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Where do you train here?
So I'm from Lawrence, so I usually train at Crunch Fitness.
Oh, you still live in Lawrence?
I still live in Lawrence, but I've been at Beastified almost every Saturday now.
Oh, yeah.
We just had Sid on. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Sid was last week.
Sid's episode will air next week.
Okay, I'll have to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love training there.
Well, tell us about that, because here's what's cool. Your episode will probably be immediately following Sid's episode. And so we talked a lot about Sid's gym and his culture and what he's trying to build there. So just talk about like your organic experience of just like been going there the last few times and what's the vibe like comparatively to the other gyms you've been to.
Okay, so I was there at the grand opening, and Kansas City is growing the bodybuilding community. It's very small. And we're, with Angel Competition Bikinis, we're trying to get more athletes involved. So having a bodybuilding focused gym with good equipment that's not standard machines. There's not the type of people that are chilling, talking to their friends, where you can go in and get a really good workout. And the environment does make you have a better workout. The music is bumping. It's always good. I never wear headphones, and I always talk to more people too. So whenever I'm there, I'm like, oh, hey, I know you. And it's cool to get to see us like growing together, because now people are checking in on my prep. So I'm like, okay, they're watching. I need to make sure that if I'm here, I'm going to train. Mm-hmm. So it's been fun. I have my clients there too. The posing room's been great because now I can see 360 of everything. So like having these gyms, I think it's gonna be a game changer for Kansas City bodybuilding and for my physique too.
Oh, well, congratulations on that aspect, just to have that resource now. Have you ever been to the other gyms that I feel like are styled in a way that they would really be promoting bodybuilding, like Flex Fitness downtown in the North Kansas City area, or I would say like the Foundation Olathe has tried their best at that. Body Shop, I think, does a really good job of that as well. Have you tried any other gyms that focus really heavily into bodybuilding as well?
Foundation. So we took a couple athletes there to Foundation Gym, and same thing. Like it's nice when you can go and, hey, I know 10 people are here. You walk in and it's kind of like you're a little celebrity, like, hey. And the community's great. And I love having equipment variety, because there are certain things that I need when I'm building very specific muscle groups for set criteria. If I don't have it at the gym, it's hard.
It's so nice when they have those very specific equipment. Like what's a great piece that you just, if you could zone out and say one piece at Beastify that you really enjoy that they have, what would be the one that people should make the drive to go see it?
For Bikini, they have a cool glute kickback machine. You got to build.
I've seen the glute drive. I've seen obviously the booty blaster. Yeah. Like you can, but what I've never seen, I don't believe, a glute kickback machine. Yeah,
so it's like you're using top shelf of glute, where it's like you're hip thrusting into the pad. I don't know what it's called, but it works really nice because it's like you're almost in a standing position and you're just hitting that top shelf of the glute. So it's a really hard area to hit, but they have a machine that instead of just doing cable kickbacks, you can actually use it with more like hamstring glute focused.
Right.
So I really love that machine. And then they have just, I think everything is new. Like it's new and it's custom made. I think he did like thicker metal or something, the way so you can lift heavier without having to worry about the machines.
Yeah, he's telling us he had like a crazy story for his dumbbells. His dumbbell situation was like he got these calibrated dumbbells from Purdue University.
Yeah.
So those P's on there are from Purdue. And I was like, we got to come up with a
there's some hip thrusts like you like to do, Jeff.
Yeah, dude. I did glute bridges today.
Did you?
Legitimately, yeah.
Nice.
3 sets of 8.
Yeah. I've been doing more squats this prep instead of hip thrusts. I hip thrust 3 times a week for 5 years straight. and it just sucks. It sucks. You look at your workout program and you're like, oh, hip thrust on the menu again. Here we go.
Do you have to do the pad, or do you use like a rolled up yoga mat? Or
no, I'll do a pad. I got a legit pad. And so now they have machines where you just like hop on, hop off. It's easier to do. But now I've been doing a lot more squats. So criteria has been different because I went from NPC to WBFF. And so I've never had to focus on quads before. So we cut out squats. It was a lot of isolated movements like hip thrusts instead of now full leg movements where I can get quads involved.
What is, let's talk about the standards, right? Is that the word that I would say? Am I using the right word here? The standards for bikini when you go from NPC to WBFF. And for those that are not familiar with WBFF, what makes those standards so unique and different compared to the two?
It was an interesting transition because I had been so conditioned on conditioning. And they're going after a very set criteria. You have to have shoulder caps that are round full. You have to have these round full muscle bellies. And if you're in bodybuilding for bikini, they're looking for you to be exact replicas of the criteria. Posing is set, suits are set. For the most part, hair and makeup is standardized. They want you to look like the Olympians. That is the criteria. When I switched into a different bikini with WBFF, there was so much freedom posing. There's not really any rules, standards, regulations for it, except for we did quarter turns like wellness does. So I had to relearn not just on one side, but I had to do both hips. We're having to do front poses, back poses, and it's a lot longer on stage. So rather than having a 10 to 20 second individual routine, you have the freedom to kind of do a pro level like 30 seconds plus, and you're on stage for 15 minutes straight and you don't stop posing. That was hard just to learn the movements, but their bikini is a lot softer. I'd say like 6 to 8 weeks out from a national level stage is what their standards are looking for. But it's not even that. It's case by case to each athlete. So if it looks better on you to be a little fuller or a little bit leaner, you can do that. And you can compress, like if you wanted to be super lean, they have fitness divisions. You can cross over too if you wanted to. But their bikini, it's kind of like a hybrid. It's like a well-kini. It's like a bikini national level competitor with a little bit of quads. They do like the waist smaller. They don't like as much shoulders. I had big shoulders. So I've had to downside shoulders, really grow quads, and then just keep pushing glutes and legs as much as I could, and then actually start training for core conditioning to show the lines and the abs.
And you've already been given the pro status for WBFF, right?
Yeah.
You already won your pro card and earned that.
Yeah, I earned that on my first regional show, and I turned pro, which was crazy because obviously like
very
turning
difficult
pro
to do, yeah.
On your first show, I had no idea what to expect. And I'd been working for that status and that card for so long. When I finally got it, it didn't feel real. And I thought it was being pranked. Like I swear they're like, and you're new pro. And they're saying my name and it just isn't registering. Cause you're like, oh, is it ever going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? So when it was happening, I was an out of body experience. It was so fun. And like my body couldn't register what's happening. I got off stage. And my friend Hannah, she turned pro with me too. She's running over. She's like, you did it. You did it. You did it. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? What did I do? And I was there. I swear there's pictures and proof. I just remember holding my trophy like, I think I did it. I didn't know how to react. I was in such shock. And then everything, because the show kept moving. I turned pro in fitness and then I had to go back on for bikini round. It's crazy. We have to change into these gowns. So I didn't have even a second to process it because it's like the show kept moving. Mm-hmm. I have to go change, a quick change. And so now I'm like, I'm a pro, but I'm going back on stage because we have another class to go out. And so at the end of the show, what just happened? This is wild. And I think the pursuit of the pro card, it was a climb because it took me from 2017 to 2023. And my brain never accepted what was going to happen after. I had pushed for that moment, and then I'm like, wait, now what?
It never processed what was going to be whenever you actually got there, how you were going to handle it. It's wild. You see, obviously you live here. You're a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. So when like McCole Hardman caught the touchdown to win the Super Bowl, he's like, I blacked out. He didn't even celebrate. He was like standing there, and Mahomes was like, we're world champs. He's like, oh.
Okay, how does this feel? Like you get there and like I've just dreamed of that moment. I've journaled about it. I put it everywhere. I've manifested. I've made these, and when you're experiencing, I'm like, oh, this is how it feels. Like it feels kind of normal.
Yeah. It's about the climb, not to the top, right?
I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like, you're going a high and then you crash. Like you're up.
Well, it kind of resets you.
Yeah,
it's
you're like, now what?
Yes.
A lot of people that we've talked to that, you know, earn a pro card, they'll be like, you feel like you're like, oh, awesome. And then it's like, you kind of think about things and you're like, oh, I'm like back at the bottom. Now I got to like, you know, prove myself within the ranks of pros now, you know.
Yeah, you have to relearn.
You kind of got to reset everything, reset your motivation.
Yeah, it was hard because I'm like, does that mean like what is next? I'm like, oh, pro wins. We're competing as a pro debut. Okay, let's turn around and let's do this. And the level is different, and you feel different because it's like, oh, okay, now my standards are here, and now I need to go up.
And so this show in a few weeks, is this going to be your first pro show?
It's my second
pro show. So talk us about that first, you know, time stepping out as a pro, what those differences were.
It was cool. It was really cool because I was so excited for the fact that I was doing my pro debut, because that's the next thing. You get the card and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to come out as a pro. But there was a lot of pressure on it because you want to come improved. I want to be pro level. I want to make sure I fit in. And I think it was really hard for me when I first stepped out because I didn't feel like I belonged yet. Because I see all these world champions. I'm going against world champions that have competed multiple years, multiple shows.
Yeah, in this case, this is your second ever WBFF show. And this might be their 10th or 11th. Yeah.
And I went to Worlds. I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm qualified. I'm going to the top. Like, let me go to the top. And I knew, I was like, the chance of me winning are 0. It could. Actually, let's say 1%. Just because there's a chance. If I compete, there's a chance. But I'm like, you know what? I need to put in my time. I'm going to do it, get compared to the best of the best, and then make the game plan of let's come back, let's build, let's grow, let's get the feedback, and then let's like really start to work. And it's great to get the feedback. Now I have pictures of a world champion next to my physique on stage. What's that going to look like and feel like before I was ready? So this year it's been interesting. It doesn't feel like prep, and I'm excited because like, I just love the process, and I realize that it's more about the process rather than the outcome. I got 6th last year, and I was over the moon. I even placed. I didn't even think I was going to place. I was like, I think I'm getting last, you know. I'm pro debut, and the fact that I even placed, it was amazing. Same thing for this
top
time.
6 is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy for the first time to go and get 6. So obviously getting top 5 and like trying to get in top 3 because you'll get in the picture if you're in top 3, and then world champion title, and then starting to win pros, and you're getting statuses of Miss Bikini USA and different things like that. So that's kind of my goal and focus. But it's been fun. It is different to step out there. It's a display of hard work. It's a moment of everything leading up to it. It's like my whole prep journey, and I get to showcase it. So that's really fun for me. And obviously, like the suits, I'm a suit designer, and I've had so much fun creating this look because you have freedom for heels, for hair, makeup, for posing. So it is everything. That's my whole personality that I put into the stage. It's your color choices, your crystals, your lace, whatever it is, the way the cross strappies, whatever it is. Like it's fully, when I go on stage, like I can move however I like best. I can basically bring conditioning, whatever I like my physique to look like. And it's not just about who's the shreddedest, you know,
who has the biggest shoulder caps or whatever.
So the suits obviously between like NPC and WBFF are completely different. Yeah. Like completely different.
Completely.
Yeah. I feel like the WBFF has always done a great job of really letting people bring their originality to things, like you were saying. And the amount of our customers that have turned into competitors over the years, right? And the number one thing I always hear from, especially the women, is just the time on stage. Yeah. It's like either for people or not for people. And I would say for the majority, it's for them, and they're like psyched about it. And so the only knock I could come up with on the NPC is that at times when you have so many competitors, people's stage time just gets really cut down to very minimal. And it can be really disheartening for the competitors because it's like they worked so hard for this, and now they're only up there for 10 seconds, and they're doing 3/4 turns and throwing their hand in the air, and they're done.
Yeah, I've been at NPC shows where they put bikini on last, and it's late at night.
It's 1 a.m.
And there's also a ton of competitors. Yeah. And so they're just kind of like, let's go. We got to get through these.
Herding cattle.
Yeah.
And you work so hard for that criteria
Yeah.
as a female to get that lean with that much muscle to display it. You're peaking for 10 seconds. Yeah. It's hard to keep that conditioning. It's really hard to get there. And I put a lot of self-value in my placings. So when you didn't get a good placing and you only had 10 seconds of glory after 5, 6, 7 years of hard work, it was really hard. It kind of took the fun out of it a little bit, because if you don't win, it kind of ruins the prep. It depends on your mindset, but it's hard when you want to and you just care so much, like, oh, I'm improved. I put on the muscle, I put on the changes, I listen to the judges' feedback, and you get placed last again,
or like one worse than you were the time before. And so I just want to make it clear, like, for some people, a lot of it is just them versus them, right? Yeah. And it's a great attitude you can have, and it's going to keep you from, mentally spiraling, if you will. Yeah. But I would say that I love that the WBFF gives people a platform to really showcase their work, really get to express their individuality and originality behind their things that they care about. Mm-hmm. And the placing can be an afterthought, honestly, if they are truly having like a me versus me feeling going into the show. It's like they get a good amount of time to truly showcase their hard work.
I like it too, because like you said, that individuality, it's celebrated. If you were to do something outside of the box, it might mark against you, but instead they're looking, it's fashion. You are setting the criteria. So I've been telling myself that time, I'm like, I can't look at anyone else as a standard cookie cutter copy paste, because I'm going to set my own criteria. And that's been interesting. Like, I am good enough as I am. I don't need to be more highlights or longer hair or whatever the last winner did. Like, I can't look at them for inspirations, because I don't want to be a copycat.
Right.
Which, you saying that, I feel like, because we've been in the fitness industry for a long time, since like 2009, him 2007. And, over the years, like, I competed in the past, and we've had a ton of friends, obviously, in the industry, females that they compete and then they burn out. It also can lead to bad issues with eating. And what you were just talking about,
relationship with themselves or with food.
What you were just talking about was basically like, it seemed like this division helped you with having a better relationship in that way. Can you tell us any like issues that you might have had to overcome, or like, advice you'd give to female competitors that might be new to the sport or could be battling those type of issues?
Yeah, it was interesting. So as far as like stage weight, I think that's hard for weight in general is hard. And I want to make sure I touch on that. I turned pro 10 pounds heavier than I stepped off national stage. I went from 14th place, not good enough to be a pro in a certain federation, to be getting my pro card for show. And I was heavier. So I was 10 pounds heavier, and I was freaking out. I'm like, I'm not conditioned. I'm going to be the thick girl on stage. I'm getting last, because I was so used to just, got to hit my stage weight. So when I turned pro at a heavier weight, I felt so good and weird at the same time, because I had been told I was not lean enough before, and then to gain weight and then get a status of, oh, wow, you are pro ready. That was insane. So it really helped my self-confidence and self-worth as a female of, oh, maybe I can be beautiful and worthy of, what the status, whatever this brings at a heavier weight aside. So it was weird. Like I let go of so much that I had put into being a certain number on a scale or making sure my waist measurements were a certain number. I just kind of felt like, oh, okay. Like, this is good. This is really good. So as far as like advice to new competitors, when you're first starting, it's hard. It is so hard. It's a mental game. It's you versus you. If you put your self-worth into a placing on stage, they're going to come and go. It's subjective. They're looking for 10 seconds. It's that day. If you're off for anything. And as a female, hormones, water, stress, sleep, anything and everything can make you not perfectly peak. It's not the hardest worker in the room that is going to win. That was really hard for me, because I thought I had earned it or I had deserved something, because I grinded. I had to do 2 hours of cardio. I had to eat 1,000 calories. I had to push.
Didn't fall off the diet at all.
Didn't deviate. And here is someone next to me, good genetics, younger, didn't work that hard. It was pretty easy. They had muscle that came out. They had all this, and they beat me. that was hard. I'm like, wait, she didn't work that hard. How did she get what I wanted so desperately? And she, didn't even really care about it. And it was hard to see that. But when you're first doing it, like as far as advice, like you have to find a coach that you trust. You can't do this alone. You need to have a good support system, and you need to have a very clear why. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do this long term. You're going to burn out. You can only go from 0 to 100 before, like if you put everything just into your prep. I used to go really hard, and I would just, put all my problems in my life away. I'm like, I'm in prep. I can't handle that. I would say no to everything. I would not do anything. I'm in prep. And I would use this prep. Now I'm like, I say yes to everything. I'm going to go out. I'm going to live my life, but prep is a part of it. It should be a benefit to your life. If it's holding you back for whatever reason, it's not going to work.
Why do you feel like in those moments, originally when you were saying, hey, I'm in prep, I'm going to say no to everything. What was it that you were like more or less, there's being like tunnel vision, right? And being super laser focused, but then there's also like, were you avoiding at all in this scenario?
Yeah, I guess the relationship with food. So if I would put myself in a situation where it's a birthday party, there's alcohol, there's food, I knew I couldn't handle it.
Right. Temptations of any sort.
Yeah. And I feel like now it's easier because I don't make it a big deal. It's not a big deal that I don't even tell people I'm dieting or anything. I'm just not having that. I'm not hungry. It's not a big deal. It's because it shouldn't be. Just if someone has a dietary restriction from whatever else, it's not a big deal to me. So I just really try to downplay prep rather than upplay it. Because if I say things like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm sore, it gets worse. If I just don't focus on it, then it's not as bad.
People like to join in on that and be like, well, why are you doing that then?
Right.
Like that seems like a little extreme. You don't want to get into those conversations. Those are the worst.
It is extreme.
Then you're like defending something that you like to do.
Exactly. And so it's not a big deal. I try to keep it casual now, and it's just fun. Like I'll go out to eat. I go out to family dinners. I just make it work because I want to do this long term. I don't want to just crash diet and just be by myself in my house and just go to the gym. It's not going to be fun. And I think about it this way. What's the point of getting a trophy if there's no one in the audience at the end of the day to clap for you?
Very true.
I don't even care about it anymore. I'd rather have a sea of people that are going to support me. And I'm going to get a dead last. They don't know the difference. Mm-hmm. They think I should win no matter what.
They're going to think you look amazing. They're going to be like, that's crazy that you did that. Like, that's so cool. That's such a good accomplishment.
Rooting on all your hard work. And you said something real subtle in there that is one of my favorite pieces of advice to give anybody who is new to just being someone who is really valuing what they're putting in their bodies, right? So anybody who's dieting or being more strict with themselves as far as what they're eating, the people that they surround themselves with are typically are new to this, right? And so you said the magic words where you're like, I'm not hungry, I'm just not having that. Yeah. And then you don't have to say I'm on a diet because the second that you tell someone, so like for all of you,
they would look at you and they would say, what would you need to be on a diet for?
That's right. If you're if you're at work and you are the person who's like, I'm not going to have the free donuts that are sitting out on the counter because I'm dieting. Oh no. Everybody's coming for you.
Yeah.
So if you just simply say I'm not hungry, no one will give you any crap. You're not also telling them that like they're worse off for eating it. Yeah. They're going to take it so personal that you won't eat a donut with them. It's going to get real ugly real fast, and that's where all the peer pressure starts. So if you just tell everybody, hey, I'm not feeling my best, I'm not hungry, no one blinks, no one bats an eye. So everybody can just move on with their lives.
Exactly. Man, and I don't do this for other people. I don't, and I just do it for myself because it makes me feel good. And so if anyone pushes back, I think in the beginning, I used to be hesitant to call myself a bodybuilder because I'm tiny, I'm bikini. It's not like I'm huge because I would get those, you're going to get too big. If you lift weights like that, you're going to get too big. Make sure you don't get too big. I'm trying to get too big.
Yeah, you're like
I'm trying to get too big.
You're like, overnight I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, dang it. What happened? I got too big.
But it's a lifestyle. So me and one of my close friends have talked about this too. I always thought that you could only call yourself a bodybuilder if you get on stage. But if you live the lifestyle and you're building your body in the gym every day, you can call yourself that, and you don't need to be on stage. You don't have to compete. You can be, it's a lifestyle. You don't have to just compete.
Totally. I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Kyle over here is a CrossFitter, even though he doesn't compete.
Bro, I'm a bodybuilder. Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're a CrossFitter.
I'm a bodybuilder, a long time ago.
But you don't compete, but you're still a CrossFitter.
I was the worst bodybuilder. I literally, everything you just said though, I was like a psychopath about. I was I mean, this was prior to
Kyle was eating his food with business cards.
Any good advice, that was going on. Like now we take for granted all the advice that goes on in social media that is like right at your fingertips, and you can follow some of the best bodybuilders on earth and kind of get the mentality from them. But like, when I competed, it was just like, all right, here's my diet. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to do, an hour of cardio at the beginning. By the end, I was doing like 2 hours of cardio a day, and I was just a psychopath. And I had no life outside of bodybuilding. And by the time I got done, I was like, I'm going to binge eat for like 2 weeks. And I did binge eat for like 2 weeks. And I got my body weight from 200 pounds back up to like 240 or something like that. Let's not do that. I know what you're trying to do. Don't do that.
Get it out, dude. Go.
But anyways, now it's like, think about how much there's so many great like bikini competitors out there, good influences that basically can be like, hey, I've gone through this and this is what you need to watch out for. And it's like, now it just seems like the information that's out there is a lot better now, which is good.
Yeah, you can do it in a healthy way. I think in the beginning of the sport, like especially for bikini, they just thought you had to eat nothing and just do hours and hours.
Essentially, yes. Yeah. And there, now bad coaches get called out. Like you can't, and I'm sure, there is still bad coaches out there. There's still people that run people's metabolisms into the ground and, tell them to take too much drugs. But for the most part, if you do that as a coach, you're going to get found out pretty quickly now, versus back in the day, especially, the first year that I competed, it was the first year of men's physique and bikini. So it was a while ago. And, back then it was just like if you talk about the difference in classifications, there was no, like bikini was not like a super thin thing at that point. It was more like wellness is now. And, just over the years, it's like, okay, well, how do we improve upon this? Okay, well, people need to get leaner. Yeah. And, so it's crazy to see how, things have changed over the years, but they really have. It seems like like I said, the information that's out there and the standards have changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah, I mean, even since 2017, I've done 11 shows. Like it's not even that many. I know a lot of people that compete more, but it's usually one or two.
But that's a lot because you're doing multiple a year.
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2, and I took 2018 off in 2021. So it's usually I've only done 2 shows at the max per year. There's some girls that are out here hitting 10 shows a year, which is crazy to keep that conditioning year round. And it's just so hard on the hormones to be in prep. And I've just educated myself this whole time on, okay, how can I do this safely? And the sport, I think it was a lot easier. Like when I first started prepping, I didn't know what I was doing with my diet. I had a local coach. I was eating cheese and grapes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm cutting out alcohol. That's all I need to do. And when I look at my old lifting videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, please help me. Somebody help me on that form. But now it's more like whole foods, and we've done the bro diets now.
Did you grow up playing sports? Like was lifting a big part of your life before getting into bodybuilding?
Kind of, not really. So from age 13 to age 18, I played competitive volleyball for a while. And then when I turned 18 through, I think like 20, I started just lifting weights with my mom and like learning it. My parents put me in a weightlifting class when I was like 13 or 15 or something, just for the summer, just to keep us busy. So I did have a background of like, I knew how to lift weights, but then I started training. So I wasn't in sports. I was going to school for business, and I just like, okay, I need to get in shape because I'm drinking a lot. So I'm just I'm living the college life. I was bartending at the time at a wing burger place. I'm like, okay, I need to actually get in shape. So I thought hour cardio, and I just had these like little baby weights. But I started getting in the gym. I ended up signing up for my first show like 2017. I worked with a personal trainer in person 3 times a week because I had no idea how to train. Mm-hmm. I was like, I just want someone to like show me around the gym, and like, so I just don't want to mess myself up. I don't know. So I started working at the beginning 3 times with a personal trainer. And then it was, okay, now I know the form for a couple of weeks. I know my workout. I kind of get how to do it. And then I just went and did it on my own. But yeah.
I think that's good advice too, is, I think a lot of women, especially young women, if they don't have a background in some kind of athletics, they look at the gym and they're intimidated by the gym.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you can get with a personal trainer that can basically just kind of show you the ropes, you don't have to be with them forever, but they can build your confidence in the gym. It's like, well, I'm here because I have an appointment with a personal trainer and they kind of go everything with you. Then it can kind of build your confidence. And then eventually you can, get rid of the personal trainer and kind of just do it on your own.
Exactly. I don't regret it. I wish I could train with a personal trainer. Sometimes it's nice to have like a partner training because it does get monotonous, like especially if you're just doing the same workouts over and over again. It's nice to mix it up, or just when I train with other athletes too, like we like to push each other. It's really fun.
Yeah, those hip thrusts you were saying 3 times a week, like it can just get monotonous doing the same old.
Jeff,
so.
You do that too, though. You're big on hip thrusts 3 times a week.
Yeah, dude. Ask your wife.
Jesus. I'm going to tell Kim that you said that on the podcast.
You set yourself up, dude. You set yourself up.
You know my wife very well.
You put it right on a tee
for me. You know my wife very well, and you're engaged. God.
Met her first before I met Kyle. But anyways, bottom line, sorry, Kim. We love you, and meant no disrespect. Anyways, let's talk. Let's switch gears a little bit because we really want to talk to you about you being the athlete director with Angel Competition Bikini as well. For all, like, what's so amazing is like what a great resource you are, obviously, to have with all of the females that you guys work with. And so you're a pro yourself. You're also a bikini coach, correct? Mm-hmm. On top of the fact, so you're coaching athletes on bikini, you're competing in bikini, and you're also an expert on the suits for bikini.
Designing bikinis.
And then on top of all of this, you have this great knowledge base for young athletes who are trying to work on how do I become sponsored? How do I bring value to brands?
Yes.
And like that is something that I think so many fortunate as heck that so many young athletes, men, women, doesn't matter. They don't understand this aspect. They're looking at through the, to be clear, most athletes are looking when they're first getting started at being a sponsored athlete as a way to legitimize them, as a way for them to benefit. And they never truly even consider what kind of value they're bringing a brand.
Right.
And so it's like, every single brand out there has the ability to obviously partner with a lot of athletes. And every athlete they meet, the very first thing every athlete says is, what can you do for me? Mm-hmm. And you're just like,
that's not how this is going to work.
You literally missed the whole point.
Yeah. I think, it's a good point. So I am sponsored athlete director with Angel Competition Bikinis, and I've been doing that, I think, that, the whole time. We work with some of the top Olympians, pro athletes in all divisions, federations, and getting to, see them in person, entertain them, and be a part of their events. We're at the Arnold, we're at the Olympia, we're backstage, we're doing last minute day before the show alterations in case of emergency because they're dropping water like crazy. And, there's not a lot of material on these bikinis. There's no room for error at all. So we are there in case they need anything. And the color is so important. And you want to, this is your uniform. That's how we look at it. It is a sparkly bikini to some, but for us, these are professional athletes that work so hard to look like this for years and years and years. They're trusting us in this uniform, and they're in front of hundreds of thousands of millions of people through their social medias. We need to make sure that suit fits them perfectly, and it is the perfect shade combination to sparkle the brightest and to capture the judges' attentions, because those details, when the physiques all look insane, they are nitpicking for the flaws. So we're trying to make sure that our girls are taken care of. They're less stressed because they love their suit. It's a color that they really have some type of connection to. This is good advice to new athletes too, because when we're looking for sponsored athletes, we're not just looking for social media. I want to find the next athlete that we see potential in on stage, but off stage. You could be the best, most winning, whatever it is, and you can have a terrible social media presence and you have no community behind you and no followers or whatever it is. So it's great when you're first starting, document everything and teach people. We want someone that's trusted. So what we found is some of the top athletes are great for marketing purposes. You see top athletes wearing the suit, they're recognizable. They might have clients, but who are their friends? Other top athletes that are probably sponsored. They're probably not paying customers. But who do you trust for protein, right? Whatever your friends are drinking, You just ask. So you're going to ask your small circle of someone that you trust. So a lot of our ambassadors or, like myself, I was a top ambassador, but I was never a pro. I just was trustworthy and I would post my journey. And I feel like people could ask me questions and I would give them real answers. I use this company. I like this company. So we want someone that has like quality content. Content is everything. So it doesn't matter how many followers that you have, as long as you're consistent, that you're showing up, that you're competing, that you're a good person too. Like we're looking for ambassadors that can change lives in the sport, that are going to posing clinics, that are on stage. They're not just like kind of like one and done athletes.
The values have to align with the brand.
Yeah.
And so you guys are going into business together. And so it's like something that if an athlete is looking to get sponsored for like one show, well, then that sponsor is not going to get much out of that relationship.
Not at all. It's a sponsorship. It's not a scholarship. I think a lot of people get that confused because they just want free stuff. I work hard, I want free stuff. It's like, no, it's a partnership. We're going to sponsor you because we see something that's going to help us mutually. So if you're going to come on as an athlete, we want you to do well. We want you to also help us. If you're a coach, we want to help you with your business, wherever you want to go. If you want to be a top athlete, we want to get you there. But it's, you're going to help us post and market. You can't just have the suit, wear it once. Like we need to have, you got to have the pictures and the posts, and you have to actually, a lot of sponsors, like they have set things that they have to do. So I think a lot of people get confused. If I just work hard and I just focus on my physique, I'll get sponsored. It's not the case. It's like, you got to put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I mean, you'll absolutely get opportunities if you're doing what you're talking about. You'll get opportunities, but it won't be one that you will find worthwhile or long lasting. It'll be like,
yes,
well, here's 20% off this random supplement brand that no one's heard of. Or, we'll give you $100 worth of this product and you just have to post 8 times about it, whatever it may be. But it won't be a partnership like you're saying, where it's like, hey, where are you really trying to go? So it's like the potential athlete, like you're saying, who's got a ton of potential. It's like, let's grow together.
Yes.
Like let us lean on us because we have resources, lean on us because we have friends in the community. We've been doing this a long time. Ask us questions. We're here to help you.
Yeah. I mean, we just want to help everyone grow. Like we don't care what your goals are on the stage. Like, how can we help you? Give us your 5-year plan. Let's come up with something. Let's do giveaway posts to get you leads for this, or, a booty band, whatever it is. So we always are trying to come up with creative ideas just to help them be their best while we're all growing together.
You guys are so creative over at Angel Competition Bikini. What is something you guys have done in the last year or two that has changed the way that you guys have done business?
Wow, that's a good question. Okay, so our brand is so unique because we're not just focusing on sales. This whole year has been community driven. It has been, let's build a community, and we want to be a resource because as a female in this sport, like, where do you go? Who do you trust? When I first started, I didn't know anyone. I had no idea. I know no one in my life was doing sports or bodybuilding. It was hard. It was lonely. But we want to be a place where an athlete can get all the things that they need to compete in, but they're going to find lifelong friends that are going to help them grow too, to the person that they're going to be. They're making these healthy lifestyle changes, and they're not going to be able to relate to a lot of people. So where do you go? We started our fashion shows, I think in 2018, and they've grown. This year, I think we have 8 fashion shows. I think we counted it. It's like 15, 16, 17, 18. And that community has been so welcoming. It's female empowered. We want you to be empowered in your life and realize, like, when you step on stage, you are inspiring so many people. You have such an opportunity, even as an amateur athlete. Just getting on the stage is an accomplishment. So we support all athletes. We want every single female on earth to wear Angel Competition bikinis, whether you're wearing suits or gowns, but something different. Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like, we stopped focusing on what our competitors were doing. I think we were trying to chase them at one point. Oh, let's make sure, we have the best suits. We kind of got the suits down easy. We worked on quality hard. We were getting feedback from athletes, and we were going over, talking to judges, going to our top pros, having them come in for fittings, doing 5, 6, 7, 8 different tops with like inches and millimeters and different crystals and connectors. And just, we constantly evolve as the sport does. So we stay relevant, and it's been crazy how it's like, we didn't realize like what was going on when we were doing it. We just wanted to take care of our athletes, take care of our customers, and give them customer service. So I'm also a stylist too. So I help like new competitors too. It doesn't matter. Like I have all the knowledge. If you need color help, if you need sizing, we just have so many resources now. But the fashion show, we want to show outside of bodybuilding a more realistic physique and another place for you to get on stage, because it is hard to get conditioned. So when we did our fashion shows, we didn't want to just be another place for shredded, hard, lean bodies.
It was everybody.
It is just a place for you to go, and you can be in your off season. You could be a transformation. You don't have to be a competitor, but it's kind of like signing up for a marathon. It's something that you can do and you can work towards. And I think a lot of people need an end date for their goals. I know I need a deadline. So if you have that, you know you're going to be on stage in some type of sparkly bikini. You don't have to be shredded lean to be on a bodybuilding stage. So you can go to the fashion show. It's a great stepping stone into the sport if you're a little too intimidated to just go jump and start competing, because it's hard. There's a lot of people with stage fright that can't do it. So they'll go to our fashion shows first, and then they fall in love and they want to compete, they want to come back, or they just want to keep doing fashion shows because they love it, because it's not as stressful.
I got to go to the first few of those fashion shows.
Did you?
And so it's been cool to watch the evolution, and obviously not going from just having one show to now 10 shows, in a year. And that's what Kara was talking about when she was on here. Yeah. Did you, were you down in Miami for this most recent, I saw Katie Goob's girlfriend do her competitor showcase. Were you down there
I was not down there, but there's other things that are popping up like this. So we had like a partnership with them too. And they got Angel bags, which is so cool.
Is that what she gave everybody?
Yeah. So we had,
and that was her first ever event, and she was just explaining it. They're coming out for our employee, our customer appreciation barbecue we're having on the 24th of August. And so Goob's going to be out there as like a special guest, but we're hoping to bring them on the podcast as well and talk to Katie about her competitor showcase, because I saw that Angel was there and partnering, and I was like, oh my gosh, small world.
It is a small world. We try to have, we're unique. We want to, it's not just bodybuilding. So we've started to expand into stuff like the competitor showcase, or we're trying to be everywhere at once and still take care of the suits, but there's so many avenues that we're going to grow, and we just keep evolving. And Kara has
supporting people feeling their best. It seems like, you know what I mean?
It's like just women in fitness, like wherever we can take that, and women in general. That's where Kara she's a great leader for us, because she has this crazy vision. She has this crazy vision, and we're all on board for it. Just like, how far can we take this? Like, we want just everyone just to feel, meeting friends, meeting your best friend, like having these crazy experiences and getting to create them and make them better and better and better every time. It's been fun to be a part of it.
You mentioned her vision. Can you give us some fun, just like crazy Kara ideas that she's given you guys that we can talk about? Maybe like, hey, this is maybe this sounds far-fetched now, but this is the vision of where we're going in the next few years, 5 years, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Okay. So Victoria's Secret fashion show, I guess it's coming back, but ours is better now because it's more relatable, but that's kind of the level that we were wanting to, like, we're trying to get top performers involved and like really set the standards of what this could be like. So we also want to do international shows, and as an excuse for us to travel internationally, but it's like, I would always want to go international, but I just never would. So if you had something to do to go over there, and you're going to be with a group of 100+ women, it's going to be safe and it's going to be fun to do it as a group. We like group activities. We just like meeting new people too. So we really want to bring the fashion show worldwide. So that's kind of the next crazy vision.
Where would you go first?
I'm thinking Canada or like UK, maybe.
Yeah. Australia's got a lot of competitors.
Yeah. Maybe
Tons.
Australia, like basically anywhere.
Are you guys shipping suits like all over the world?
Yes. Every single country, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Wow.
It's over 100 and some countries. So we have the stats of it. It's wild how many suits. I think Kara was saying something. It's like 400 a month, like 5,000 something a year.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And
countries? Or suits. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like that's a lot of competitive.
5,000 countries a year.
Because you guys also don't do just competitor suits. You guys do.
Yeah.
You guys still do the posing suits as well?
Yes, we do posing suits. We do so many posing suits. So it's all women's federations. We do have transformation lifestyle. We just start ideas. So we started a rave line because we want to just test it out. Like anything we can add sparkles to.
It's going to kill it.
I was about to say that's probably that's a whole
Kara
new
talked to us about
demographic.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's not a lot of couture suits for the rave community, if you will. There's a lot of cheap suits out there, of course.
There is.
But there's not a lot of like make it for me specifically. And so I talked to Kara about for my fiance for our honeymoon. Like, will you do just like a custom suit for her, like just for our honeymoon? She's like, oh hell yeah,
done. And it's cool. Like we can throw crystals on anything. We can make anything with crystals. So
People like attaching themselves to anything that is.
I mean, you're celebrating the love of fitness and doing it in a way that is tasteful, that's individual, that feels original. I mean, like it's a no-brainer. Yeah. I love it from that business standpoint. It's just the execution is so difficult because you have the creativity is just through the roof. You can do whatever, right? Yeah. So to do it in a way that obviously honors your brand and your guys' vision is the difficult execution part. But I have no doubt you guys can do it. I mean, I remember delivering protein to Kara at Angel like in 2017 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they had like never heard of us. Yeah. She was just like, do you guys carry protein? I was like, I would hope,
I would hope too,
but yeah, it's just been fun to watch them grow and just have so much respect for everybody over there. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You have,
you have a podcast.
You have a podcast.
Cupcakes and Protein shakes.
Yes.
Have you been getting a lot of people asking you what your thoughts are on certain protein shakes? Because we do protein reviews around here.
Oh, I did. So on my YouTube channel, I've been starting to review protein powder. If you guys are interested, there's only a few in there. But so Cupcakes and Protein Shakes is my own podcast because obviously I love protein and I love cupcakes. So I put them together into a podcast. I interview amateur female competitors that have competed in at least one competition about their journey, because it's important, because a lot of pros are the only ones that you're going to hear. So I want real everyday people that have all sorts of weird, odd jobs, moms, and I want their fresh experience after they've just stepped off stage for the first time. So I have 100+ episodes. My journey is there. It kind of evolved at the beginning. I had no idea what I was starting it for, but then it took its own form. So I'm looking for more athletes to bring on. So if you're listening to this and you've competed in at least one competition, please DM me. Come on.
Reach out. How can they find you?
Okay, you can find me everywhere. So it's on Instagram, it's at Savana Sharp with 2 P's. On YouTube, it's at Savana Sharp 2. You can find all of my prep vlogs. I've recorded everything since 2020. All of my national shows, all my pro wins, everything's there.
How cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it was important for me to document. This is for me and my grandkids. Like, that's kind of why I did it. It's a video diary. That's everything. Posing, cutting, diet, everything. Show day vlogs. I have almost every show day vlog. 13 weeks out, my preps. There's everything that you can ever imagine. But that's on TikTok. It's at Savana Sharp. There's just random stuff. I'm just playing around with TikTok. I don't really understand the young kids these days, but
the children love it.
The children love it. So we're on all the platforms.
Yeah,
nice. I love that. The reviews. Is there one that sticks out to you that you like the most?
Oh, as far as protein, my top protein powders. So I'm a Ninja Creamy fan. So if it doesn't Ninja Creamy, it's not for me.
You're talking Jeff's language.
Yeah. I love blueberry muffin, like anything blueberry muffin. So I've been trying to find my favorite blueberry muffin flavor that I can put in oats. That's the true test for me. Or like a chocolate peanut butter. Those are my flavors.
What's your favorite snack? So we talked about protein powder. Do you have a favorite protein snack?
Yeah, you were mentioning these 180, 190 calories. I'm like, what bars have you eaten? What are those?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not on the bars too much.
Right.
So if I travel, I am. I try to keep it really clean. My diet is very restrictive year round, but it's by choice. I feel better that way. If I have too much processed stuff, I just feel like my gut hangs out. And
totally.
Like how I look when when I have too much stuff. But if I'm looking for protein bars, I think there is what is it? Barbells?
I was going to say the Bear Bells.
Yeah.
Bear Bells.
Yeah.
Cookies and cream.
And they have birthday cake. I haven't tried it yet, but I've seen that.
Do you like the Built bars? Those like puffs? You know
I
what
like
I mean?
the puff one, like the marshmallow one, because those are low calories too.
I was thinking about those under 200 calorie ones. I'm like, you're a Built girl or a Bear Bell girl?
Well,
Bear Bells, I think, are 220.
What else would I grab for? I would say there's some like more like Rice Krispie crunchy ones. I think it's like the Quest, like they're, I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Quest Hero.
Quest Hero bar.
Yeah, where they have like the caramel chocolate something with like there's like a little texture in there. There's like blueberry ones. I know that there are.
Yeah, they have the drizzle on the top.
Yes.
Yeah,
Level 1 bar got blueberry muffin, don't they?
more.
They got rid of that bar? Man, that bar was great.
Yeah.
They're known for their crunchies on the top. That's a good one. Their Bear Bells are very similar.
Yeah.
So, powders wise, though, do you have an absolute favorite?
Powders. I like Quest. Or no, not Quest. Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Lifestyle?
Yeah, I think
Oh, they have a blueberry, don't they?
I don't know. They have the chips. They partner with like the brands everybody's heard of. So
there's like
Chips
little
Ahoy
cookies in
and, like,
there. So I must be grabbing me some cookies in my protein. But it does make a Ninja Creamy as well. I think that one, and then currently I found it's called like Airline Cookie, but it's a Biscoff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cookie butter cookie.
Yes. Love cookie butter.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think that's got to be the next powder.
Have you tried? I bought this for my kids last week. The Ghost cereal.
I
Yes. So good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So good.
The only problem is it doesn't really. They don't soak up milk,
No.
which I think is kind of weird.
I know
I
that
like
that
it
part is
better.
well, it's great for
It
like
is. It does, but it is kind of. It's just so different than other.
it gives you
cereals.
some moon food vibes that it doesn't soak up.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to taste like that. But so if you put it on top of the Ninja Creamy and then put it in there, it's like double protein and carbs. Like this is the perfect combination.
That's a pretty good combination.
We're gonna be
That's
doing
how you know
a,
you're in prep. You're like mixing things up with like making your
It's
macros.
rough, guys.
You're just like
You should see some of the things
little
I've ate.
little drizzle, you know, like,
Like
Salt
rice
Bay.
cakes and sugar-free syrup. I'm like, oh, that's so good.
Kyle, whenever he was in prep, this is really aging us like 13 years ago. I'll never forget him being like, I cheated on my prep last night. I was like, what'd you do? He's like, I took 2 egg whites and I put them in the and I made like a pancake out of them and I put sugar-free syrup on it. And I was like, that was your cheat? He's like, yeah. And it was awesome. He's like,
Probably.
it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Like when I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hey,
Egg
this
white-
is Kyle.
egg white
This is Kyle pre-prep right here. I
Wow.
convinced him. You can see how young I was. There's a foosball table in my kitchen.
Yeah.
That is the 100 peep challenge. When
Jeff
he was doing a
like,
refeed, he was doing a
obsessed with
carb refeed.
making me
100
do
peeps?
peeps.
I was trying to make him eat
Peeps.
100 peeps because it was like the perfect refeed food.
Trash.
Yeah,
Fat free.
it is.
Straight carbs.
Yeah, straight carbs and sugar. Like that would actually be kind of nice. Like it just carb, just throw a peep.
When he was trying to do it, he rolled them up into like an apple and like tried to chew on it like as if he was taking a bite out of an apple. And it was when it was over after that.
You know, like, dude,
He
I
grossed
just-
himself out.
Yeah.
Peeps are just gross. I don't.
You
I'm
know,
not-
like I love peeps actually.
You haven't had one
hey,
since. have
listen,
you?
listen. A Reese's egg. Like, come on.
Yes.
Are you really going to take a peep
Yes.
over a Reese's egg?
That's not on the menu, Kyle. Apparently,
listen.
some might say that a Reese's egg is not fat free.
I'm just
It
saying.
might
if-
have some fat. in
Yeah.
there. It might.
Yeah.
It's
Might
got
just be
quite
all
a bit of
fat.
fat.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm just saying for Easter, like I'm never as a fat little kid, which I was never reaching for Peeps. I was always reaching for Reese's eggs.
Everybody knows
Chocolate.
Reese's egg, best ratio of all the Reese's shapes out there. Best ratio of peanut butter to chocolate.
Oh, white chocolate or regular?
I really don't discriminate. I like
Okay,
them both.
same.
Yeah, white, black.
Yep.
I
Huge fan.
Yeah. same.
Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, guys,
Yeah.
for having me. It's been fun.
We have our question we have to ask everybody in Savannah.
I
you're gonna
forgot.
have a good answer.
You're gonna have a good
I
answer.
guarantee it.
Okay.
Okay. So are you originally from the Kansas City area?
She's from Lawrence.
Oh,
But you're still absolutely around the Kansas City area if you're from Lawrence.
yes.
And that means you know good barbecue.
Oh, I'm gonna disappoint you guys.
No, you're saying like you're not a fan of barbecue, but you obviously eat protein.
Yes.
And so if you had to go to a barbecue restaurant in Kansas City and someone's like coming to visit you and you're like, all right, if we're going to go eat a barbecue spot, this is where I can enjoy food. What would you pick?
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna disappoint you because I'm a barbecue hater.
It's fine.
No.
You can say
Hater?
you're a hater. You can literally hate on it. As in like smoked turkey is just, you're above it.
I just don't love that for me. It's just too high fat. Like I really like. Where's the vegetables? Where's the veggies in there? But if we did have to go somewhere, we're probably going to like Jack Stack.
You do have like a burger every now and then after prep, right?
You guys,
Never?
I literally don't love burgers. I don't.
What is the food that most people know is
Sushi.
unhealthy that
Yes,
you do enjoy?
there we are.
Yeah,
there it
sushi.
is.
Yeah, I'm saying like let's talk about like it's like it's totally cool not to be a burger person,
Yeah.
but what is like the food that would not be helpful for a bodybuilder to eat that you're like, I mean, of course I love that, but I don't eat it often.
That's sushi. Yeah. I mean, that's my thing. And I want the fried
rolls.
Give me the fried
Yeah.
rolls. I can make it fit in prep if I wanted to and like get the, the ahi tuna, whatever. But I want the fried rolls, dessert all the way. I have no cravings for regular food. Give me dessert. I want a pile of it. I want a whole cake to myself, brownies, whatever it is.
Who's got the best cupcakes around here? You are Cupcakes.
Ooh,
and protein
okay.
shakes.
So I think it's a small bakery. I'm trying to think of the name off the top of my head.
I'll probably
Jeff will know it.
You will? Okay, I think it's either the Nothing Bundt Cakes.
Nothing Bundt Cakes is a classic franchise.
They're not like cupcakes though. It's like Bundt Cakes. It's not quite.
But let's be real, they're phenomenal.
They're so good. But I do like cookies. I like Insomnia cookies. Like I really, again, I don't.
You've been to Crumble, right?
Yeah, I can't justify it though.
Yeah,
I
they're
want to
just
have more.
unbelievable.
I want to have a whole pile. If I have one in 700, I'm like, man, this doesn't feel so good because I'm not just having one. I'm going to probably try
Yeah,
all
you want the variety
10
pack.
flavors that they
yeah, you
have.
need the catering ones. My buddy got married and he did Crumble catering for their like late night snack. And there was just like a bunch of them this size, and I was like, well, that's how they should just make all the cookies.
Oh yes.
That's not even fair.
They
that
give
make
you
them
that
so
like
big.
chopper where you can chop them into
Yeah,
like 4
there's
pieces.
Have you seen that? There's like a
It's like
pizza,
a stamper thing.
I mean,
no one's doing that.
Yeah, well, I'll do
Like,
it.
six little slivers.
Yeah, like I'm gonna only have a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sure you are.
I'll do it, and then I'll just eat all 4. 'Cause
Exactly,
I'm
exactly. And you feel a little better. You're
Yeah.
like, well, it's only, I ate it slow.
Yeah, it's like my
Pretty much burned it off
intentions.
as I was
Exactly,
eating it. Yeah.
exactly.
I had good intentions there.
There's dude, they made there was a time where the app didn't show that the calories on the cookies were based on a quarter of a cookie. And so there was a time where I really was looking through it and I was like, oh, dude, this cookie's only 180 calories. That's amazing. This cookie's only 300 calories and it's all peanut butter. That doesn't make any sense.
You hadn't ate them at that point though, right?
Yes. And I was eating them on
Are
the
you
reg.
an idiot, dude? It's straight butter.
I was
like,
like,
you're like, okay,
Oh,
wow.
Let's be clear. If you're eating these crumble cookies, you're not even counting the calories,
Oh,
but
no.
you're literally just like telling yourself this isn't even that bad as you're eating it because of the calories in there.
Crumble is one of those things you can't. If you eat more than one of them, you're just hate
sick.
yourself.
Yeah,
you're just
you're
like,
so
what is
sick.
going on?
Your body, I mean, there's a certain age where you just get to where your body just no longer can do it. It's just not even possible.
Diabetes is like
When I was 20 years old, like a garbage disposal.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
eat all 4, no problem.
I had some post-show binges. Like I would eat these brownies that were like this thick.
Do you get into the show like people?
I
that
used
make,
to,
like the
and I
bricks of
used
brownies?
to gain weight real quick. And I was like, man, I should probably stop doing that. I
Right.
should probably stop just eating.
I feel like shit for like a
Yeah,
month
like,
afterwards.
I don't understand.
Kyle's post show binge was like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
In like 3 days. It was another level.
That's actually dangerous.
12 pounds in a week for a female, like that was my worst, and that was heavy. And it was a sushi week, and cookies was on the menu for my meal plan that week. And regrets, but not really regrets. It was so good.
Right. I mean, honestly, we're back to normal. Everything's good now. We're 3 weeks away. You're a pro.
Exactly. Like it didn't hurt me that bad.
All part of the plan.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Savannah, we really appreciate you. We love taking the time with you today. If you want to get a hold of her, guys, make sure to find her on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of it. And we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.